Game week 5 is proving to be an interesting game week with lots of European football and lots of teams playing in the Carabao Cup third round. I think I've got that right. 10 of the 20 Premier League teams are playing, so I wouldn't be playing or using your transfers early doors, but I've got your differentials covered for this week. I've come up with a bunch of names that hopefully are going to be good. And look, it has been hard to recommend differentials so far this season because the popular players have been getting it done. The differentials have been very hit and miss. But I do think, particularly in the midfield this week, that I have uncovered some absolute gems for your consideration. Also, some excellent news here, potentially if you're wildcarding or using a free hit this week. I asked the card if the cards team wants to wildcard, and it said yes, and we pressed the button early this morning just to avoid a couple of price drops and hopefully to make the most of a couple of price rises. So tomorrow, there wasn't going to be any content, but the cards wildcard team will be getting released. So if you're on wildcard, make sure you check that out and come back tomorrow. I've also done UCL content for the first time ever, and I've got my team selection live. You can check that out. I'll put the playlist at the end of this video for your consideration. With that all being said, it's now time to get into it. Make sure you smash a like. Leave us a comment with differentials. Potentially I should be going with what is your best one-week punts as well. I want to know what you guys are thinking. And without further ado, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Please consider doing so. And let's get into it. So differentials week 5, is it even worth going for differentials anymore? I'm not even sure. I keep thinking that my whole team this season has been differentials, like more than it's been template players. And I even feel like the template players haven't been going down. It's been these weird players that no one has got. Like Zumamendi, like Caicedo, like these other really low-end assets that realistically, if we bring them in, points chasing, are they going to continue that form? For example, Caicedo is a very good point in case here. He's scored 2 goals. That's double the amount of goals he's ever scored in any other Premier League campaign. Now, can he do it? Can he get more than 2? I mean, he's got 34 game weeks to do so, but will he? I'm just not so sure. So, look, I have to sit there and I have to hold my hands up and say basically Semenyo and João Pedro, maybe they're highly owned for a reason because they're actually good players. Now, Semenyo obviously didn't start off as highly owned, but he's the most bought-in player since the start of the season in terms of his percentage ownership going upwards. And I think I really just have to get on board. I don't think I can continue to take that on. And I know this is meant to be a differentials video, but this is just me thought processing and just answering some questions. A lot of people probably got the questions too as well. In terms of João Pedro, though, I'm still not convinced. I know that sounds ridiculous. 66.6% of people currently own João Pedro, which is 2 in every 3 managers. I just don't know if he can keep getting it done, especially with Europe starting this week. Semenyo, no brainer. The dude's not in Europe. He's not going to get rotated or rested or anything like this. So I wouldn't be too concerned about him moving forward. But yeah, honestly, I'm just not sure at this moment in time what I want to be doing. And that's proving to be problematic. And I'm not sure which way I should be going, but it's definitely something that I'm considering, and I don't know what I'm going to do. But yeah, it's something that I think, let me know what you think in the comments. Now, teams with good fixture runs, and this is the hard thing, because normally I pick differentials based on the fixture runs. Now, this week, there is a dearth of Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa assets, even though they've got amazing fixtures in direct view. Now, they feature in the one-week punts, but they don't feature in the differentials because of the fact I've almost lost all faith in these assets. Like I have Sells, I have Milinkovic, I have Ollie Watkins all in my own team. I can't be recommending players that I definitely wouldn't be buying if I wouldn't be buying them myself. So for that reason, unfortunately, if you're after any of them, I'm not recommending any of them, even though they do make the one-week punt thing. So if you're on a free hit, definitely. If you're after a differential for more than 1 week, probably not a good idea to invest in them. So Forest, Leeds, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Spurs, Bournemouth, Sunderland and Man City are fixtures I look like. Now, I've also updated the FDR, which we'll have a look at as well, with what I think the terms of difficulty are for each individual team based on my own thought process. And I'll explain that in a little bit when we get to it. Now, the fixtures I would be targeting, though, for this week, if I was just to make transfers for the 1 week plays, it would be Burnley versus Forest, Sunderland versus Villa are the 2 fixtures I'll be looking at and backing in Forest and Villa to somehow get the job done. Now, some people might say maybe you should be backing in Burnley and Sunderland assets instead. And you could be right. You could be definitely right. But I just think for me, I've still got some faith. And for that reason, I think their assets for those particular weeks will be fine this week. Also, I will be targeting clubs that aren't playing in Europe this week. So, for example, Manchester United versus Chelsea. Now, I'm not saying Man United are going to beat Chelsea. Far from it. But I'm just saying that teams that play in Europe are going to be playing an extra game. Even the teams that are playing in the Carabao Cup this week, maybe target teams that have played in Europe that are getting the team that's not, oh my God, I'm doing a horrible job of explaining this, but the team that is not in Europe, target their players because you would think that they're going to be fresh and hopefully they'll get the results. Whether it happens or not, it's another thing, but that's definitely something I'm looking to do in terms of my transfers and when I'm looking a wild card, potentially now in Game Week 7. Also, for that reason, don't be bringing in players in European teams that are highly likely to be at risk of rotation and the dreaded roulette. And look, there are a few managers already doing roulette, so you want to make sure you stay in front of that. The next thing is defenders. There's been lots of arguments about attacking defenders versus the DEFCON daddies. Shout out to FPL Nightmare for that one. But I think the real key crux of it is, and this is why I don't like Anderson. Everyone says I've got a vendetta against him. The key with defenders is the clean sheet potential. The reason why there's so many defenders scoring high points, you guessed it, they keep keeping clean sheets. If you look at the top of the defenders and all those defenders that are there, it's not because they're getting attacking returns. In some cases they are. It's because they've got at least 2 clean sheets from 4 games. That is the key. Clean sheet potential. It's the bread and butter of defenders. I've almost forgotten about it. That's what's very important if you are going to be investing in a differential defender. Lastly, players in form are Semenyo, Haaland, Vicario. You can even add João Pedro to that list. They're all players that are ridiculously in form at the moment. So onto the game week fixture difficulty rating for game weeks 5 to 10. As you can see here, I've split it into 5 distinct categories. So on the top, we've got Wolves, who I think have the best fixtures in the game between now and the end of game week 10. Then we've got Spurs, who come in at 2nd. Leeds come in at 3rd. Bournemouth come in at 4th. And then on the next layer down, we've got Nottingham Forest, Sunderland, Aston Villa and Manchester City, who realistically, they all have pretty good fixtures. Now, Nottingham Forest probably would have been higher if their form had been better and their assets have been good, but they've been pretty woeful, which is why they come down there. Now, I know Wolves have been horrible, but the fixtures don't lie. They've got a nice run. They surely are going to start picking up some points there. Spurs, obviously, you needed a Spurs defender. I'm going to hold my hands up and say I got it wrong. I should have bought a Spurs defender. I think, realistically, I looked at their numbers today, and my number 1 defender is actually a Spurs defender this week for the differentials. Chelsea coming at on the 3rd rung, along with Liverpool, along with West Ham, and along with Man United. Now, the fixtures aren't brilliant, but they're also not horrible. Then the next layer down, we've got Brentford, who definitely distinct into the second half of the tier now. Brighton, who I just feel like those fixtures should not all be grey. Like, they've got a lot of hard teams in there, and I think they're about there. Arsenal will then come in, but realistically next week they're going to start going up because obviously they've got a couple of hard fixtures, but then it opens up a lot nicely for them, obviously in game week 7 onwards. Newcastle as well, I just don't know. I don't know about them. I feel like their fixtures are probably slightly better than some of the other ones. I'm just very concerned about how they're going to go in Europe. Then we've got Everton, who are in the bottom rung, along with Crystal Palace for me. I think they've got quite a difficult run of fixtures there as well, and they're also going to be in Europe, and they're already struggling with injuries. Fulham and Burnley are clearly the worst fixtures in the game at the moment. I would not be investing in them, even though I do feature a Fulham player in this week's edition of the differentials. So I'll have a look, see where he comes in. But yeah, that's the fixture difficulty rating. I've updated it. Hopefully makes it a little bit easier to see what my line of thinking is in terms of the fixtures coming up, how I rate players, and why potentially I've gone for some players in these differential videos compared to others. So onto the goalkeepers for this week, and it is Vicario in at number 1. He's swapped places of Henderson. You've just got to back in that fixture. Now, I know technically he's just over 10%, but he's not hit 11% yet, so he's definitely in there. I couldn't believe. So he's made 4.25 saves per game on average. He made another 4 saves on the weekend, but they're really low shots, XG shots that Spurs are conceding, because XGC per 90 is 1.17, which is really damn good. Like really, really good. So look, as I said before, I've just got to hold my hand up and say I might have got the Spurs defense wrong. I'm still not convinced by their attacking play, but I think their defense looks solid, provided they don't get any injuries and provided Mickey Van de Ven doesn't ping a hammy, they should be good. They should be good. Touch wood. Frank has got him playing a lot better, let's be honest. They also have very nice fixtures, and you would expect at least 3, maybe even 4 clean sheets over the next 6 games. So for that reason, it's a bit of a no-brainer. If you're on wildcard, definitely look at Vicario. Petrovic comes in at number 2 now. He's just been getting the job done. 2 clean sheets already from 4 starts. The XGC for Bournemouth is ridiculous. So they conceded a goal on the weekend against Brighton from ridiculously low XG. So they're really good. 0.87 expected goals conceded per 90, and they conceded 4 to Liverpool in the opening day. So he's doing really well. I've been very impressed by Bournemouth. I think you definitely need some coverage there of their defence and particularly their forward line as well moving forward. Donnarumma stays at number 3 this week. He was great. His save on Mbumo's shot was top draw. Absolutely top draw. He was amazing. I think he'll be great moving forward as well. 1 start, 1 clean sheet. I know the XGC against Man United was 1.51, which is a little concerning, but I think he's going to be great. If you want an answer to someone that's going to play every single week and you want to part of that City defence, you can't go too far wrong with him, I don't reckon. And then Henderson now floats into number 4. 8.1% ownership. But the XGC for Crystal Palace is elite as well. Only 1 goal expected per game at the moment. His saves haven't been the best, but 3 clean sheets in 4 games. I mean, what more do you want from a goalkeeper? Obviously, the fixtures do get a little bit more difficult after West Ham away, but he's definitely a player that you could 100% be investing in if you're on wildcard or something like that this week. So on to the defenders, and it is a Tottenham defender that comes in at number 1. Now, I looked at putting Milinkovic in here again, but I just can't do it. I can't justify that play for 2 weeks, and the fact that I haven't yet kept a clean sheet over four game weeks is just... and Ange has just come in and Ange bot. We don't know what's going to happen. Romero is an easy selection. Obviously, Mickey Van de Ven couldn't be eligible, neither could Pedro Porro. Romero, 6% ownership, 4 starts, 1 assist, 3 clean sheets. He's got half decent XGI for a defender, 0.06. His defensive contributions with the teams they've played is quite low, but I do expect that when they play better teams, he will get close to that magical 10 number threshold. So I think he's going to be great moving forward. I think he's also the one that's most likely to stay fit for as long as possible as well. Then we got Senesi. I'm still shocked that he's under 10% ownership, 8.9%. That's probably going to change by the end of this week and he won't be eligible for this video next week. But again, 13.75 DC points per contributions per game. He's got the DC 2 points in all 4 games this season so far. 2 clean sheets to go with that, along with an assist. I mean, the XG numbers are they're there for both parts. For a defender that literally cost you 4.5, which is what he cost me when I bought him last week, he's going to rise to 4.7 this week, 100%. He's great value. You can't go too far wrong with him. Then we've got Vardiol. 5.8 million he's dropped down to now. Now he's back, he's fit, he played 90 minutes. I think it's all systems go. After this week, why would you not invest in Man City defence? Why would you not invest in him? Obviously, he had no XGI in this game, so that was disappointing, and he was playing at centre-back. And ironically, his DC contributions was only 3. So that wasn't ideal, but I just think he's great. He's going to have that attacking threat throughout the season. He's going to get his 5 goals at some point. And I think Man City are going to start keeping clean sheets. Now that he's back, along with Ruben Dias, you expect that to be the central pairing going forward. Rodri's getting fitter. I think Man City are going to improve significantly now with Donnarumma behind them as well. As less chance of goals going in, whereas Edison was not as good at shot stopping. There's a lot to love about Vardiol. He comes in at easy number 3. Now, Tarkowski will be even higher up this list if it wasn't for the fact he's got Liverpool away this week. Now, with the way Liverpool are playing, I'm not sure they're actually going to score that many goals against Everton, if I'm being brutally honest with you. 7% ownership here. He's obviously quite expensive at 5.5 mil, and he doesn't play for one of the big teams. But he's got 2 clean sheets already out of 4. And again, he's got the DC points in all 4 of his games. So he's consistently getting at least 4 points a game. And he keeps a clean sheet, it's 8. If he gets any bonus, it's a double-figure haul. I just think he's great. I think if I was on wildcard, I'd be strongly considering getting him into my own team I mean, the fixtures outside of Liverpool, if you don't jump this week, look really good on paper. I would expect him to rise at some point over the next coming weeks. Everton's defence, ironically, hasn't been actually that good over the first 4 weeks. 1.54 expected goals conceded per 90, much worse than obviously Senesi and Romero. But I think that's just because Moyes is trying to make him a bit more attacking, and that might be a consequence. But Tarkowski's still doing a great job, and I think he's going to be great long-term as well. So on to the midfielders, and it is my boy straight back in as a differential. 1.9% ownership. I was hoping that he was going to drop. He was so close to a drop for the first few weeks of the season. Alas, he did not drop, and there's no way he's dropping now. 1 start, 1 goal, 1 clean sheet, 2 points for defensive contributions, which he racked up 13.71 per 90. 0.39 expected goals per 90, 0.04 expected assists per 90. Obviously, the clean sheet as well. He's going to be great. I'm telling you, my boy Phil Foden, if it wasn't for Arsenal this week, I would strongly be considering moving Cunha in my own team instead of to Semenyo straight to my boy Phil Foden. And I'm telling you, he's going to be in. I've just got a feeling that Phil Foden is back, baby. He's back, and the D-Unit is getting very excited about bringing that man back into my team. I already own him in draft. No one wanted him in draft. I picked him up, and here we are. He's delivered, and I'm telling you, this man is going to be great. He's going to score at least 15 goals this season. I'm going to call it straight out right now. 15 goals and at least 8 assists for this man. He's going to get 23+ attacking returns to Man City. This is the year of Phil Foden's second coming. I'm telling you straight up. Coming in at number 2 is Sade. 7 million, 0.4% ownership. So I've come up with some real differentials this week in the midfield. 3 starts, 1 goal, 1 clean sheet. This is where it gets exciting. Kevin Sade's XG per 90, 0.49. Almost half an expected goal a game. That's really good. I think that he's going to be pivotal to the way Brentford play. I think he's going to be involved a lot. I think he'll score a lot of goals this year. He scored a lot last year. I think he'll get at least 10, maybe even more this year. He looks good. He looks threatening. There's no reason not to get excited. His DC per 90 is not horrible as well, but realistically, you're not buying him for that. But I think he's going to be great. Comes in at number 2 this week. The fixtures are a little bit middling. If you can bench him 7 and 9, the rest of them are really good, and I think he'll return in most of them. Then is Jeremy, which is Pinot, actually. Jeremy Pinot. 6 mil, 0.2% ownership. I mean, he's even less owned than Chard and Phil Foden. 1 start, and he should have scored. He should have scored in this game. He had a gilt-edged opportunity. He missed it, alas. 0.66 XG per 90, like based off that chance that he missed. It was a really good chance. He really should have done better. But I liked what I saw. He was involved, and I think he's going to be great moving forward. I think he will take over that Eze role quite nicely. Once he gets his first goal, he'll be up and running as well. He may not be as good as Eze for Crystal Palace as Eze was, but I think he's going to be good. And I quite like that West Ham away fixture. I know they've got European football, and I wouldn't be buying him before then, but I reckon he's a really good shout. Then coming in at number 4 is Caicedo. Now, I put him in there because he's 8.3% ownership, and he just racks up those DC contributions. And I'm telling you, against Man United, he's going to get 12 in his sleep. He's going to sleepwalk to 12 against Man United because we are bad. He's averaging 14.75 per game. And at 5.5 mil, he can just be that 8th attacker that you don't want to play, you don't have to worry about, but you know when you do have to play him, he's almost guaranteed to get you at least 4 points. And I think that's important, particularly if you're looking to bench boost. He could just be really good. Now, you might get away with playing him and he gets a goal like he has a couple of times already. He might even keep a clean sheet. He might get some bonus. We don't know, but I think that he is a very good enabler that's not being talked about very much, and he's under 10% ownership. And I just wanted to give him a little bit of love because he has started the season like bang and form. I wouldn't be expecting him to continue those attacking returns, but the DC points that he's racking up, the clean sheets and the points, I think he's going to make up. He's going to get at least 130 points this year, I reckon. And for 5.5 mil, you can't go too far wrong with that. And on to the forwards. And look, the forwards was really hard to do this week. Now, yeah, look, let's be honest. The pickings are pretty damn slim. So I've gone with Thiago at number 1 this week. 6 million, 1.7% ownership, 4 starts, 2 goals. His minutes per start is not too bad as well. the numbers for the forwards are pretty lackluster. 0.33 expected goals per 90 through 4 games is not ideal. 0.04 assists. Realistically, if you were going to pick Thiago, you'd want him as your 8th attacker and spend up a bit more in midfield. That's my best advice I can give. Now, Strand Larson would have featured if he was fit, but he's not, because Wolves have an amazing run. So until we hear more about that injury, he can't feature in this video. Coming in at number 2 is Walter Matey. Now, rumour has it that Wissa potentially might be out for more than just a week or whatever, which makes him almost a dead certainty to be starting every game for Newcastle, you would think. 2.2% ownership. I mean, the fixtures are interesting. They're not brilliant. They're not fabulous, as I talked about before. Arsenal home and 6 is interesting. But he was on the pitch for 70 minutes, 0.38 expected goals per 90. He was averaging during that time on the field, 0.01 expected assists. I think he could be good. He looked all right. That's all I'm going to say. I watched that game and I thought he was pretty decent. Yeah, I think Newcastle could have got a play here. And he got off the start. And when you get off the start straight away, that's normally a good sign for a striker. Jared Bowen remains at number 3 this week. He's about to drop to 7.7 million, which will make him even more appealing to me when I eventually look to go back to him. 6.8% ownership now. He really should have scored again on the weekend against Spurs in that first half. 4 starts, 1 goal. I mean, the numbers are not good, though. 0.11 expected goals per 90, 0.06 expected assists. Well down on what he produced last year. So I'm not sure what that means. But, I mean, the fixtures aren't horrible for West Ham. And you've got to take on the fact that they're going to be up for the London derbies, which Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Brentford, they're all going to be games he's up for. I just need to see a bit more from West Ham. I think that realistically he could be a really good forward and a really good pick, and he's not in Europe, so you don't have to worry about him getting rested, rotated, etc. You can see there's a bit of a theme here. Brentford, West Ham, and now Fulham. Now, Muniz comes in at number 4, 2.4% ownership. I prefer him over Raul. It looks like finally he's getting the starts, and it makes sense. Raul's 34 years old. Muniz is young. He's hungry. He wants to be playing. 3 starts. Unfortunately, his 1 goal came from being a substitute, which isn't ideal. And the XG numbers are pretty poor per 90. 0.28 is not overly flash. But then, and when you look at Fulham's run coming up, again, not very good. But if you want an enabler, who I think is going to be locked and probably starting most weeks, he's good, I think. I mean, this one's a bit speculative, let's be honest, but I think he can be okay. Moving forward, hopefully he is. Let me know what you think of Muniz as a pick. I think there's a reason why these 4 are in particularly differentials at the moment, and that's because of the fact the form isn't quite there. But yeah, what can you do? These are under 10% ownership. All the good ones are way over 10% at this moment in time. So on to my Game Week 4 best week 1 week punts, and let's see how they got on. So Munoz, too talking about Muniz still. 5 points. Obviously got that yellow card. Didn't get any DC points. Didn't get any attacking returns. Got the clean sheet and the appearance point. Yeah. I mean, I kind of expected more. I thought that he was going to be involved from an attacking sense, and he did set up a really good chance. Unfortunately, the player he set it up for didn't convert it. Otherwise, we'll be talking about a double-figure haul for him. Cody Gakpo didn't offer much. Did not offer much. 3 points there for him. I thought that he was going to be... I thought Liverpool were going to be better, but they did not create very much at all against Burnley. Mo Salah, probably one of the luckiest 9-pointers you'll ever see. A 95th minute penalty, was actually 93rd minute, I think it was given. Then it was taken the 95th minute. If it wasn't for Hannibal's arm being not where it should have been, he blanked and got 3 points just like Cody Gakpo. He did nothing to warrant the 9 points except being lucky and being on penalties. So, look, I did call it. He ended up being all right. And realistically, I should have picked Haaland again for the 2nd week in a row for the forwards, but I thought I'd mix it up and go for someone else. Should have left it on Haaland. That would have been the correct call. 13 points he would have got. But we went for Mateta, and Mateta missed the great chance that Munoz created. Not ideal, and it is what it is. Well, what are you meant to do with that? He just didn't finish very well in this game. Otherwise, he also could have returned, but alas, he did not. Let's find out who my best 1 week punts are for Game Week 5. And you better believe it, I couldn't put him in the differentials, but I have put him in the defender punts for 1 week. He is my number one defender this week, and I'm telling you, Milinkovic, I'm telling you right now, if you don't deliver on the 1 week punt here and let me down, I will not own you again in FPL this season. 100%. It will not happen. I don't care if you scored 2 15-pointers in a row. It will not happen. You've disappointed my team and you've ruined my start of the season pretty much. You and Sells combined for 4 starts and 0 clean sheets from the fixtures you had on paper is deplorable. XGC conceded per 90, averaging 1.72. That is horrendous. That is like relegation type of conceding goals. The DC per 90, 7.5 he's just no good. He is no good, but I'm recommending him as a 1 week punt. I said for the first 6 weeks there was a 15-pointer in here. It better damn well be coming in game week 5. Otherwise, there may not be a game week 6 in my team. The pressure is on Milinkovic. Sort it out. Gibbs White comes in as the first midfielder 1 week punt. Now, I think he's going to be great. 5.2% ownership there. Now, again, 4 starts. He's only had the 1 assist. But I think Burnley away might be a game for him. I don't know why. I just got a feeling, I got a sneaky suspicion that Forest are going to turn it around this week. They're going to go there. Burnley are going to be kind of like disappointed because they lost to Liverpool. I don't know. I'm just making this up really. But I think that Gibbs White's going to be great. So, yeah, I think he's a great 1 week punt. If I was on free hit, I'd probably have him. One player I would definitely have as well, provided he gets for obviously Europe and the Bayern Munich game, etc., is one Cole Palmer. Now, he's only had the 1 start of the season, which was game week 1, where he disappointed, only got the clean sheet, and that was it. But he came off the bench in the second half against Brentford and ran the show. That is the Cole Palmer that people were investing in at the start of the season. Now, he's obviously dropped to 10.4 million. He's down to 19.4% ownership as well, which is unheard of, which almost makes him a bit of a differential. 0.58 expected goals per 90 now, after that cameo in the second half. 0.09 expected assists. This dude ran the show. He probably should have scored twice, let's be honest. And if I see more of that against Bayern Munich, I think he could tear Manchester United apart. We already saw what Haaland and Foden did against Man United. There's no reason to think that Cole Palmer can't do it as well. That midfield of Man United is walkable through. Like, I could walk through it. Then Ollie Watkins comes in as the forward. Now, people are going to say you're an idiot, and I get it. Ollie Watkins has done nothing for 4 weeks. He's got an XG per 90 of 0.29. He's done nothing to reward the faith. He's down to 8.8 million. He's cost me 0.2 million in squad value. He's down to 15.1% ownership. But I'm telling you, if there's a week that he's going to perform, it's Sunderland away. And he's going to justify the faith, and he's then going to allow me to hold him through to the end of game week 7. And wildcard probably around that time, maybe even in game week 8. That is the plan. Whether it works, whether it doesn't, we'll find out. He's also got to get through the Carabao Cup this week as well. So hopefully he can do that, not get injured, and we'll be laughing. But this has to be the week of Ollie Watkins and Aston Villa and Forest getting back. Otherwise, I'm pretty well cooked. Let's be honest. So that brings me to the end of my differentials for game week 5 and my 1 week punts. Let me know what you've thought of them. And if you've got time after you've watched this, go and check out my UCL fantasy. I've got a different WhatsApp chat for that now as well. If you're on the original one for FPL, just click the link I dropped in there. It'll automatically join you in. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already done so to help me continue to grow the channel and better prepare for you guys. And get involved in the comments with your best 1 week punts this week that potentially I have overlooked. And let me know players that you think the card should include in its wildcard draft, which I'll be dropping for you tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning UK time. See you tomorrow. I've been FPL D-Unit.